Welcome back to News First. With 3 seats still vacant in the CNMI's Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation Board, CNMI Governor Ralph Torres' nominees get their public hearing. CNMI correspondent Tomas Manglona reports.
The remaining 3 individuals appointed to the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation Governing Board by CNMI Governor Ralph Torres make their case at a public hearing this morning in Senate chambers. Members of the community speaking in support of longtime social and healthcare worker and executive director of Caridad Charity, Laurie Ogamuro, former nursing director Leticia Reyes, and former deputy secretary for public health David Rosario.
Ms. Ogamuro stands firm on decisions she makes and believes, and focuses on decisions that not only benefit a specific group, person, but to benefit the entire community.
Governor Torres' 2 previous appointments to the 5-member board, Dr. Larry Holcock and Tinian Center Resident Director William King, have already been confirmed by the Senate. Commonwealth Cancer Association Program Manager Juan Babata also came out in support of all 3 nominees.
The board is ultimately responsible for ensuring that the corporation carries out its work properly and successfully.
Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation Chief Executive Officer Esther Muña, who is off island, submitted a letter of support for all 3 nominees. The board's role as a governing body is made possible with the controversial passing of Public Law 19-78 last year. Reporting for PNC News, I'm Tomas Manglona.
Well, families and friends of victims of violent crimes filled the legislature's public hearing room in support of Vice Speaker Therese Terlahi's Bill 93 earlier this week. The bill is aimed at providing relief for victims of violent crimes who attend parole hearings every year. If made into law, the bill would require that people who are imprisoned for violent crimes and denied parole for 2 consecutive years will wait for 4 years from the date of the last parole denial for the next hearing. Family members and friends of murder victims testified in support of the measure. Dan Swabley and Carlotta Leon Guerrero both knew the late attorney Jan Rubenstein, who was murdered by the abusive husband of a woman she represented in a divorce.
Unless you have lost a friend or family member, a violent offender, and must relive the pain of recounting those dreadful events every year before the parole board, I can say with certainty that you have no idea how emotionally wearing and mentally difficult it becomes.
I stayed like this, ready to fight like this, because the stakes are so high, and she was such a wonderful person. And what she was doing for the safety of families and women in our community, she was fighting to get a woman out of an abusive relationship and to save her children from, and save that woman's children from that. And that's what happened to her. And I just can't not let this go. So I ask that you respect our wishes and think of the victims.
And most of those who testified actually testified in favor of lengthening the time between parole hearings beyond the 4 years called for in the bill. In other news, Senators Fernando Esteves and Tommy Morrison are calling on Senator Mike Nicholas to change the time of the public hearing on Bill 60, the Citizens Legislature Act, also known as the Part-Time Legislature Bill. Senator Esteves says that the hearing is currently scheduled for 10 a.m., which is a difficult time for members of the community to attend. In addition to this, Senator Morrison says his Bill 61, which is also for a part-time legislature, has not had a public hearing scheduled yet.
In just a matter of simple efficiency, both bills should have a hearing on the same day. They were introduced on the same day, and all we're asking that it's at a time that people can actually attend and give testimony.
We don't want to waste our people's time, certainly, and hope that, you know, Bill 61 just gets its fair share for a public hearing.
And Senator Mike Nicholas issued a statement to PNC saying that he will accommodate the request to hold the hearings after working hours, but the bills must be addressed one at a time to avoid any confusion. Bill 60 puts the question of a part-time legislature before the body, while Bill 61 puts the question of a part-time legislature before the people. Senator Nicholas says both senators have been notified of this. Well, after the heat mayors received for taking trips to the Philippines for strawberry and mango festivals, one mayor says it's more than just junkets. In yesterday's Mayor's Council meeting, Dedido Mayor Melissa Zavarez said that while attending a mango festival in the Philippines, she sat down with someone who specialized in making rubber furniture out of old tires. Zavarez says they brought in some pieces and tried to have talks with the Guam Environmental Protection Agency and the Department of Corrections to get inmates to work on similar projects. While she states that nothing came out of that meeting, Zavarez did find a Dedido resident who made furniture out of recycled tires.
We have people in our villages that are turning trash into things that can be used. She's not only making furniture, but planters, trash receptacles with these tires that we're finding. And we find these things when we go and, visit the other countries, specifically the Philippines. So it's not a junket like they say. I mean, we're finding ways to turn our trash into other things as well. So it's learning other things that other countries are doing to incorporate in our villages.
Other mayors add that these trips to sister cities are opportunities for an exchange of culture and would in turn bring in revenue to the island when sister city representatives visit Guam. All right, well, let's check in with Chelsea Cruz. She has the very latest in island weather.
Happy and welcome to your PNC weather forecast brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, Guam Windward Memorial, and Dipsticks. I'm Chelsea Cruz. Today we are taking our first look at the weather to start off the weekend, and there are some pretty interesting things happening in the world of weather right about now. So if you do have any events that are going on this weekend, here's what you can look forward to. From now through Saturday, your days are expected to start out sunny and dry with isolated showers and your high temperature staying at 89 degrees. But by the afternoon, those skies have a very good chance of turning mostly cloudy with scattered showers and even the possibility of thunderstorms. So kind of the same deal as yesterday's weather. Right now, we're supposed to be experiencing consistently dry weather, but as long as those winds stay low and keep all that moisture in one spot, an island convection could occur again over the Marianas. And right now, southeast winds are at a low 5 to 10 miles per hour all the way to Saturday. So like I said, there is a good chance that we could be getting scattered showers again as we start the weekend. The winds could pick up though and move all that moisture along, but be prepared for rain or shine, especially for right now. And that's going to be about it for tonight's weather report, but be sure to tune in again tomorrow as we take a closer look at your island weather for the weekend. Have a good night.
PNC Weather Report is brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. And Guam Windward Memorial. And Dipsticks, located in the heart of Jalan Pago.